Well, everybody, if you want to focus your attention up here, you don't actually need to gather around, but Katherine and Brian are going to have their first dance together as husband and wife, so how about some applause for them? There you go.
Staring down, I think of you. I think of you. And when life shuts me down and there's no way to win, sometimes I just wanna cry. I think of you. I think of you. When you call my name, I can see the light guiding me home like the stars in the night. I've already known I'm lost without your arms around me. I'm always by your side, my love, and this love's entirely for you, with you, from you. I'm always by your side, my love, from now on my everything's for you, with you, from you. Awake in the night, and I need to clear my head. I think of you. I think of you. 'Cause I worry too much on my fears amplified. Sometimes I just wanna run. I think of you. I think of you. When you call my name, I can see the light guiding me home like the stars in the night. I've already known I'm lost without your arms around me. I'm always by your side, my love, and this love's entirely for you, with you, from you. I'm always by your side, my love, from now on my everything's for you, with you, from you. There's no one else I got in this world. How could I live without you? Until the sun cools out we will love. Nothing can stop us, no one can hurt us. I'll be forever yours. I'm always by your side, my love, and this love's entirely for you, with you, from you. I'm always by your side, my love, from now on my everything's for you, with you, from you.
There it is. Applause, that's right. Yay! Great job, you two. Okay.
Peace up.
Uh-oh. We're not going right to that. We'll get there soon enough.
I didn't even. Because our one person is like the chicken overhead. Okay. You see Mary.
How about this? That might be.
And then realized really light. We are. We want to do it. Everyone knows Ryan, right? My husband. I just gave you an answer. That was the quick one. All right,
Thank you. That's good, guys. It was great.
I mean, I wasn't I was a part of it. Yeah. But then they wanted to do it.
That's why you're here.
I love
Everyone's attention. Hey everyone, I'm DJing for you today and I'm here at this table and my mic is cutting out a little bit, so I'd like to introduce you to Brian's dad. He is right here. They don't give his name. Peter! And here he is. He's going to give you a little welcome speech.
A little encouragement. You can stand if you like. Or if you don't like
Hey, thanks so much for coming. The thing I really want to say is thank you to Inga and Tanto for raising such a wonderful young woman. And for the marriage today. It was beautiful. It's been a while coming. And the planning, the winning to it, the planning that we're enjoying, the results of that, that was them. That was the two of them working together over the last year. So, good sign. So, again, thanks very much for coming. Good luck and keep eating.
And who else here? Sylvia, yes. And Sherman. Good. And and Anna and Ina and everybody. And the problem with creating a list is that you end up missing somebody. So forgive us if we missed you. Where shall I start? Katherine is our firstborn. She will always occupy a special place in our hearts. Throughout Inga's pregnancy, many well-meaning friends and family always suggested that this was going to be a baby boy. When it was time to deliver, I even bought a bag of blue baby diapers. But all were wrong. That happy day in June, Katherine Ann was born. And what a cute, chubby baby. And we could not be happier. As a toddler, she was healthy, lively, and not shy. Inga called her Honey Bunny, or Miss Sunshine. Fast forward a couple years, her sister Margaret came into the scene. There she is. The two sisters grew together, very happy to have each other. Margaret adores her big sister, as Katherine showed her the secrets of life. From very young, Katherine had shown the following qualities: hardworking, persevering, and having courage to tackle new challenges. Whether it be Suzuki piano practice regimen, school, college, entering the workplace, and now starting a new chapter in life with Brian. In middle school and high school, Katherine pursued drama and the performance arts track. She started with small roles in the beginning, persevered through the years, and was able to get bigger and bigger roles. Not afraid to try new things, she also joined the cheerleading team, and at the end of the year earned the distinction of being the most improved player. Like most of her peers, college was her first experience living away from home. She was quite prepared for campus life, both in Maine and a semester in Scotland. After graduating, Katherine decided that she wanted to teach English abroad. With this goal, she took special training for several months and went to South Korea for a year to teach English. Teaching in Korea was probably one of the biggest challenges for her then. She was assigned to a few middle schools in a town several hours from Seoul. With no friends and in a culture so foreign, she felt very isolated. Before the year ended though, she managed to find an expat community there and had great experience. Some of her friends are even here tonight. Back home, from a very exciting year abroad, Katherine entered the workforce at a local university. Perhaps a bit of a reverse culture shock, she began to look for other activities. She discovered dragon boating and loved it. She quickly embraced the workout regimens and most of all the community it provided. She participated in local and regional races, and one year went as far as Hungary to race. It was in this dragon boat world that she met Brian. From the grapevines, she heard that Katherine was friends with this mysterious guy. One winter, Brian came up to Boston for an indoor dragon boat event. That's where we first met Brian, in his full dragon boat regalia. I mean shorts and sandals. Tank top, yeah. Not long after that, Katherine decided to find employment in Virginia. When that materialized, she moved away. As parents, we can only postulate that their relationship is moving forward. Sure enough, eventually Brian proposed to her and got engaged, and we are here today to celebrate their marriage. I thought when I planned this, we were going to toast, but I don't have any toast. So, without toast, I would like to leave these words to Katherine and Brian.
Okay, this is water.
Okay. Okay, but before we toast, I want to... So these are the words that I want to leave you. Pour your talent and wit and tenacity and all your energy into your marriage. Love each other to death and don't let anything get between you. And we pray God's blessing upon you too. A toast to Katherine and Brian.
Thank you. Hey, I tell you what, it is time for more toasting. That's right. Catherine's sister and bridesmaid, Margaret Bond, step forward. Come to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Margie, I'm Catherine's younger sister. And as many of you probably know, Katherine and I shared a room together growing up until she left for college, which was a surprisingly harmonious arrangement for the most part. But it definitely drew a very sharp contrast between our very different personalities and habits that were developing from a young age. So between the two of us, I was always the messy, less disciplined one, while Katherine thrived on rules and organization. She would make her bed very meticulously and neatly every morning before school. So her side of the room always looked like it was straight from a magazine. And on my side of the room, my bed was always a pile of tangled sheets and old clothes. And unfortunately, this is a bad habit that has not aged very well for me. And now my husband has to deal with this for the rest of his life. Katherine would always wake up at the crack of dawn every morning, sometimes at 5:30, to do her daily Kumon math worksheets, while I would attempt to cram a week's worth of homework, sometimes more, into the half hour before it was due, which was very stressful. She also had a rich inner world that was nurtured by long hours spent reading, journaling, and story writing, while I was a brash extrovert who didn't do much quiet reflection at all. But despite our many differences, I learned a lot from Katherine over the years about how hard work and discipline can bridge the gap between mere ambition and successful outcomes. I still turn to her for advice about all sorts of things, and I admire her pragmatic approach to solving problems and her unfailing can-do attitude. So when I first heard about this guy, Brian, that Katherine had started seeing, I remember noticing several green flags right away. He shared a lot of the values that were so important to her, like integrity, a strong work ethic, and a close relationship with his family. And since getting to know him better and getting to know them better as a couple, I began to see how much they challenge and support each other to meet their goals in fitness, in their careers, and more. They're often found in action, but they also know how to relax and enjoy each other's company by spending time together on the water, going for long hikes together, and seeking out good Asian food wherever they find themselves. Together, they make a formidable team. They're effective, they're compatible, they bring out the best in each other, and they cover for each other's weaknesses. We love you both, and we couldn't be happier that you guys have found each other and have such a bright future to look forward to as a married couple. So cheers to Katherine and Brian. We wish you all the best for this next chapter.
Right, you're allowed to applaud. Thank you, Margie. Very nice person. All right, Brian's friend and groomsman, Adrian Forster, is our next gentleman. Right here.
To make a toast.
Let me get situated here. Hello, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Adrian. Look. For those of you that do know me, the hair stays. I've known Brian for a long time. At least to witness him get a scar at least once. You guys should ask him later on how a corpse flower at the botanical garden managed to give him a scar. That's a good story. In fact, Brian and his family are the reason why I got into Dragon Boat in the first place. We got so into it that we started our own team in high school. And we actually that year managed to get the bronze medal at the DC Dragon Boat Festival for the entire youth division. Never mind the fact that there were only 3 teams. What I'm getting at is that I've known Brian for a very long time. So when he told me that he was messaging a girl, I was naturally excited. But of course, I had to make sure she was good for Brian. So I brought on my checklist from my vast shared experience with Brian and asked, did she Dragon Boat? Check. Definitely right for Brian. So soon after Brian and Katherine started messaging, Brian started making plans to come up to visit Boston. And after that, he started making plans to visit again, and then another time. And I just want to point out that in the 3 years or so at the time that I've been in Boston, Brian had visited me maybe once, twice. In the 8 or so months that Brian had known Katherine, he came back like 3 or 4 times. But I got the feeling that Katherine was someone special. So this brings me to the fateful day that, in December, that I was in DC and Katherine was visiting Brian in DC for the first time. You know this one. So Brian, Kate, and I were hanging out at Brian's condo, and hanging out, playing games, chit-chatting, when we hear a knock at the door. And I'm sure we all think, oh, that's probably Katherine. Kate goes up and opens the door for Katherine, says hi, welcome, and she shuffles into the apartment a little bit. Brian is standing there alone in the living room, and Brian goes, hey. Katherine goes, hi. And then it's just a little bit of silence, and I'm thinking about, okay, Brian, so now this is the time where you ask Katherine, if you can take her bags, get her a drink, let her get settled in. And to my horror, the first sentence out of Brian's mouth is, do you want to see my erg? And I'm like, Brian, what are you doing? You're ruining your chance. And I hear on my left from Katherine an excited, yes. And they immediately sprint over to Brian's erg and they start doing power pieces. They start talking Dragon Boat Shop. They're doing 200 meters and the world just melts away. It is them and the erg. And I remember leaning over to Kate and whispering, this is adorable. And I think that was when I first got the sense that Brian and Katherine had found the one, that they were meant for each other. And so without further ado, I want to congratulate the newly married power couple.
All right, thank you so much, Adrian. I'd like to introduce Maria Robeson. And she is Katherine's friend and bridesmaid. So applause.
Thank you so much. In addition to being Katherine's friend, thank you, and bridesmaid, I'm also a Dragon Boater, so there may be some Dragon Boat content. Adrian has anticipated some of what I was going to bring up, but I'll do my best. I don't know how to follow that. I've been friends with Katherine since 2017 when I moved to Boston not knowing anybody, and I joined B1 Dragon Boat team, and Katherine immediately went out of her way to make me feel welcome. And since then, I've been so lucky to have Katherine as a friend and as a teammate. Katherine Your dad mentioned some of this already, but you're so incredibly empathetic, driven, thoughtful. You have an amazing work ethic. I count my lucky stars to have you as a friend, near or far, even though you moved away from us, from Boston, as mentioned, to Arlington to be with Brian. We were especially lucky to have Katherine as a board member on the Dragon Boat team. Katherine was so good at getting things done when they needed to be done immediately that we voted her into 2 roles simultaneously on the board because we just wanted as much Katherine as possible. In so many of these traits, Katherine has found her match in Brian in terms of your friendship, your loyalty, your dedication, your drive, and also your incredible inability to keep secrets. So, as one example of this, Margaret and I had planned a trivia game for the bridal shower in which the idea was that Katherine had to accurately answer questions about her history with Brian that we'd pre-vetted with Brian. But it turned out that Brian had spilled the beans to Katherine beforehand and gone through all the questions with her. So Katherine amazingly got everything right. But I think we can all agree this bodes really well for your lives together, that you cannot keep secrets from each other. So, as has been mentioned here, Katherine and Brian might share some fondness for Dragon Boat. And Katherine's friends back in Boston thought it was a great sign that Katherine found someone who owned his own paddle erg. Adrian has already told you the story. But we knew it was a great sign when Katherine visited Arlington. We were all waiting, or visited Virginia, with bated breath to find out how it was going, and she sent back a picture of herself erging. That first visit was a clear sign things were serious. I well remember, Katherine, when you weren't sure if you and Brian were just friends or if it was romantic, but that visit cleared up very quickly. And since then, it's been such a pleasure for all of your friends in Boston to see you and Brian becoming increasingly close, including the early video calls with Brian where Kate was jumping up and down excitedly in the background, to family dinners with Brian's parents and generally becoming part of each other's lives. So the one element of Katherine's drive and dedication getting things done that I've always had very mixed feelings about is the speed with which she relocated to Virginia to be with Brian. And after the fact, we found out that Brian had actually been contemplating moving to Boston, which some of us thought would have been great. But B1 has accepted that, Brian, you beat us out. Katherine moved here, and we welcome you into the B1 family. And Katherine, it's just been such a pleasure to see you two growing personally, professionally in your lives with each other, whether it's over Zoom, whether it's when you visited Boston, or when I've had the pleasure of visiting you two in Virginia and seeing how you've become intertwined in each other's lives. Thank you for being an amazing friend. Brian, thank you for making Katherine so happy. And everyone, please join me in congratulating Katherine and Brian.
Thank you so much, Maria. I'd like to introduce you, if you don't know her already, Brian's sister and groomswoman, Kate.
You ready? Kate?
Hi. Thank you very much. Sadly, I also have Dragon Boat references, so I hope you are prepared. You know who you are. So, Brian is 4 years-ish my senior in our family. I'm the youngest. Brian, I wanted to start this off by starting with my perception of how Katherine came into the picture, because I feel like that wasn't fully made with all these stories, lovely stories about Katherine. Brian comes up to me and he says, I just got a message on Instagram. Really? It's from a girl. Really? Brian, did she slide into your DMs? And he had this grin, a grin I had never seen on his face before, and it was pure glee. He was so happy. And then, as you already heard, I was jumping up and down because I'm so excited. My brother, he has a girlfriend. They hadn't made it official yet. I saw it coming. But I remember I'd be like, Brian, dinner's been... And he would be laying on his bed with headphones in when we lived together in his condo, FaceTiming her or video calling her. And he just looked at me. I'll be there soon. He just is so happy. Catherine, you make him so happy, and we love you for making him so happy. Now, to go back to dragon boating, because that's very important to us. My last position on the boat was in fact drummer, as some of my teammates might remember me screaming at them. So I thought I'd make them relive it again. So we're gonna do what's called a power 10. I paddled in a dragon boat. I remember what a power 10 call looks like. Raise your hand. Can we get some volunteers? Yes. These are some of my teammates, right? So the way it goes is we go, it's mid-race, after someone's calling, attention! Go! And we're mid-race. And we're like, oh no, the other boat's catching up. 3, 2, 1, power 10. So the way it's gonna work, I'm gonna mimic a power 10 call. First, we're gonna start with 3, 2, 1, which is gonna be 3 things you need to know about Brian. And then I'm gonna call on some of my friends here to give marital advice or relationship advice 1 to 10. Ready? So, power 10 in 3, he's really hardworking. 2, he's very positive. 1, he's immensely loyal. 1.
The truth is, you just make it up as you go along.
2.
I think consistency is key.
3.
Find something that 2 of you enjoy doing together and do it every day.
4.
Happy wife, happy life.
5.
Hey Brian, it's Eileen. Be sure to fill the dishwasher and empty it.
6.
Hey, when I see 2 of you, I see that, I know Brian, I'm sorry, I don't mean to make it long. Yes. So you guys are like best friends, and keep it that way.
7.
Timing's the most important thing in the boat, but never forget technique.
8.
I was gonna say timing. Make sure you guys communicate and so you're on the same page and stay in time.
9.
Right. Engine room, buddy. Don't forget, long and strong wins the race.
And 10.
Eat more.
And we bring it home.
That was great. All the toasts were wonderful. And now, you see that beautiful wedding cake up there? It is time for Brian and Catherine to come up and cut into the wedding cake. You can gather around. You can stay where you are. It's a photo op. It's part of the wedding tradition. And here we go. Play an appropriate song.
Yeah. You got it.
Yeah, that's it. Got it. Yeah.
gotta face each other.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Give me a bite when I get. Yep.
And there it is. The wordplay. Oh, a whole lot more. If anyone is still hungry, there's a little teeny bit of seconds here for you. In the meantime, I'm going to turn this music way up and start the nasty rap music. No, I'm not going to do that. But I am going to turn it up slightly. The dance floor is officially open. And this is the dance floor. But you can dance anywhere you want.
Everybody clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands. All right, now, we're going to do the basic step. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Cha-cha, real smooth. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Cha-cha now, y'all. Now it's time to get funky. To the right now. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. One hop this time. Right foot, 2 stumps. Left foot, 2 stumps. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross. Cha-cha, real smooth. Let's go to work. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 2 hops this time. 2 hops this time. Right foot, 2 stumps. Left foot, 2 stumps. Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees. Get funky with it. Oh, yeah. Come on. Cha-cha now, y'all. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. Can you bring it to the top? One hop. Right foot now. Left foot now, y'all. Cha-cha, real smooth. This way.
Fireball.
Walk this way.
Yeah, but they'll get there like on time. actually getting requests. That's a beautiful thing.
In the taxi cab, everybody's looking at me now. Like, who's that chick that's rocking kicks? She gotta be from out of town. So hard with my girls on her